Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm RAFLI HAFIZ SANI, and this is my last assignment video for speaking for academic purposes, which is I will presenting my research presentation, and the title is Investigating Students' Foreign Language Anxiety by RAFLI HAFIZ SANI, and my student ID number is 19223012, and I'm from 2C. Okay, first is part 1, background. Foreign language learning situations are prone to anxiety arousals. More than half of foreign language learners experience some kinds of anxiety in their learning, said by Ward in 1998. Some studies have indicated that foreign language anxiety can negatively impact on learners' performance. Thus, it is obvious that foreign language anxiety is a serious matter that needs study. However, there has been little information as to how foreign language anxiety is experienced by foreign language learners from Indonesia. Therefore, this study investigates this from the perspective of Indonesian learners studying a foreign language, which is English. Okay, number 2 is part 2, research questions. But I will remind you that this part is for the last slides, which is the result. It actually affects the results part, which is the answer of these research questions. Okay, but I'll give you the highlight first. It's the questions. Question number 1 is, what are the factors that learners believe contribute to their foreign language anxiety in learning a foreign language? Question number 2 is, are there any differences in factors contributing to foreign language anxiety between male and female students, and also between lower intermediate and upper intermediate students? And questions number 3 is, what strategies do learners use to cope with their foreign language anxiety? And last question is number 4, are there any differences in strategies used to cope with foreign language anxiety between male and female students, and also between lower intermediate and upper intermediate students? Okay, next is part 3, which is a review of literature. Defining anxiety. Generally, anxiety can be associated with threats to self-efficacy and appraisals of situations as threatening, said by Papa Mihail in 2002, or Koba et al. in 2000 said that anxiety is an uneasy feeling due to something threatening. Okay. Types of anxiety. Papa Mihail in 2002 divides anxiety into 2 types, which is state anxiety and trait anxiety. State anxiety is a type of anxiety which occurs because learners are exposed to particular conditions of situations. For example, there are learners who feel anxious if they are requested to speak in front of the class, or if they do not understand many of the teacher's words during the class. Meanwhile, in trait anxiety is a person's tendency to feel anxious regardless of the situations they are exposed to. In regard to this, Ward in 1998 argues that Trait anxiety is a part of a person's character and is a permanent disorder. Okay, next is impacts of foreign language anxiety on learners. Kondo and Ling in 2004 mentioned that foreign language anxiety can impact negatively on learners' performance. When Horowitz, said by Horowitz in 1998, Chen and Cheng in 2004, and Casado and Dereshitsky in 2004 said that when feeling anxious, learners may have problems such as reduced word production and difficulty in understanding spoken instruction. Next, possible factors contributing to learners' anxiety. In the context of foreign language learning, learners may feel anxious due to problems related to communication apprehension, such as difficulty in understanding the teacher's instruction, negative evaluation, such as fear of correction and fear of making mistakes, and a general feeling of anxiety, such as fear of failing the class. And that's all said by Horowitz et al. In 1986, Papamihiel in 2002, and Casado and Dereshitsky in 2004. Okay, next. Part 4, which is the study or method. But this part is, we have participants first, then we will continue to method. So the study involved a number of university students of lower and upper intermediate levels. In this university, students test of English as a foreign language, also known as TOEFL, score was used to determine their English level prior to their joining the English class. Those who obtained a score of 475 or less in TOEFL were put in lower intermediate classes. Meanwhile, those with a score of 475 or higher were placed in upper intermediate classes. Both levels, lower intermediate and upper intermediate, were investigated in the study. Okay. Method. Let's continue to method. A survey design was used to direct this study. According to Creswell in 2005, survey design is one of the research procedures used to describe trends in a population of individuals. In the context of this study, the trends described are those related to learners' foreign language anxiety. In line with the study design, a questionnaire measuring factors causing foreign language anxiety and anxiety coping strategies was employed to collect that data. The data were quantitatively analyzed using SPSS by calculating the means of participants' responses. Okay. Let's continue. And this is the part 5, which is the results and the answers for research questions from the part 2. Okay. What are the this is the question number 1, which is what are the factors that learners believe that contribute to their foreign language anxiety in learning a foreign language? Analysis of the anxiety factors as shown in Figure 1 suggests that there are three factors which learners believe have contributed to their foreign language anxiety, namely lack of preparation, lack of confidence, and fear of failing the class. Of these three factors, most participants agreed that lack of preparation was the main cause of their anxiety, followed by lack of confidence. Only a few participants claimed fear of failing as a factor of anxiety, while the majority were uncertain about this. Okay. Okay, this is the question number 2, which is, are there any differences in factors contributing to foreign language anxiety between male and female students, and also between lower intermediate and upper intermediate students? The comparison of factors which contribute to foreign language anxiety between male and female students, as shown in Figure 2, indicates that both male and female students considered that lack of preparation was the major contributor of their foreign language anxiety. Only female students claimed that lack of confidence was a factor of foreign language anxiety, while their male counterparts did not have a problem with this. In other words, male students were more confident than female students in their foreign language learning. Male students were more afraid of failing their English class than female students were. Therefore, they include this as a cause of their foreign language anxiety along with lack of preparation. Meanwhile, the female students did not see it didn't see fear of failing as a source of their anxiety. Okay. And okay. This is actually still the same. Questions? Okay. The analysis of anxiety factors according to learners' English levels, as indicated in Figure 3, shows that both lower and upper intermediate learners considered that lack of preparation was the major contributor of their foreign language anxiety. The data also indicate that lower intermediate learners were less confident in their foreign language learning than upper intermediate learners were. They considered that lack of confidence contributed to their anxiety, while the upper intermediate learners did not consider it a problem in their foreign language learning. The upper intermediate learners, despite their confidence in their learning, were more afraid of failing their class than the lower intermediate students were. Thus, they also considered it one of the factors that made them feel anxious in their foreign language class. Okay. This is the question number 3. What strategies do learners use to cope with their foreign language anxiety? The analysis of anxiety coping strategies, as described in Figure 4, suggests that there are 4 strategies that learners often use in coping with their anxiety, namely preparation, relaxation, positive thinking, and peer seeking. Of these four strategies, peer-seeking and relaxation were used by the majority of learners in their attempt to reduce their foreign language anxiety, followed by the two other strategies, that is, preparation and positive thinking. They, however, didn't consider resignation, such as not taking part in class activities such as voluntarily answering questions. As a strategy, they used to cope with that anxiety. Sorry. So, of all the 5 strategies measured, only resignation was not employed by learners in their foreign language learning. Okay. This is the next question, which is question number 4. Are there any differences in strategies used to cope with foreign language anxiety between male and female students, and also between lower intermediate and upper intermediate students? Okay. The comparison of anxiety coping strategies used by male and female students, as shown in Figure 5, indicates that the number of female learners who employ strategies such as preparation, relaxation, positive thinking, and peer-seeking was greater than the number of male learners. Of the 4 strategies, peer-seeking and relaxation were more dominantly used among female learners, followed by preparation and positive thinking. Meanwhile, among the male students, peer-seeking and positive thinking were more popular than the 2 other strategies. Okay, this is actually the same question. Just continue the number 4 question. The analysis of anxiety coping strategies according to learners' level of English proficiency, as shown in Figure 6, suggests that preparation, relaxation, positive thinking, and peer-seeking were used more by lower intermediate students than the upper intermediate ones. Of the 4 strategies, peer-seeking was the most popular strategy used by lower intermediate learners, followed by relaxation, preparation, and positive thinking. Similarly, peer-seeking was also the most frequent strategy employed by upper intermediate learners, followed by positive thinking, relaxation, and preparation. Okay. This is actually directly from my lecturer. She gave me a question for this research presentation before I made this video, and now I will answer the question right away. Okay, the question is, in your opinion, do you think different students have different factors affecting their anxiety? In my opinion, I think they have a lot of reasons why they get anxiety all the time, but what I have in mind is that I think a lack of preparation, because as a student they have a lot of lazy moody, so it might they too lazy to listen to their lecture lesson, or maybe they don't understand at some point, or maybe they too lazy to make a preparation and they ended up by procrastinating. And I think a lack of confidence is also the main weakness for anxiety. This might be connected for the introverts or an antisocial person who too afraid to confront human being or somebody else, and that's why we have to trust of what we're working on, getting serious to it, really understand of what we've been working on, and that might be the key to make us feel confident. And and maybe my last factor is fear of failing, because we used to think every outcomes, even the bad ones, even the bad ones, before we did something that makes us anxiety. I think that is the first thing what we do before we feeling the anxiety comes to our mind. And we might have to do it, even it gets an anxiety, or maybe will not get anxiety. Don't ever think about the outcomes, because you will never know if you even try. I'm sorry. Don't ever think about the outcomes, because you will never know if you never try. Okay, that is all for me. Okay, I think this session is long enough. Thank you so much for this incredible lesson. Thank you, speaking for academic purposes, and thank you to the viewers. I think that is all from me. I'll see you again in the next couple lecture. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you. Goodbye.